Indu Anand from Nucleus Software. It's my pleasure to host this Fireside chat covering a very interesting, innovative, and relevant topic on having a unified financial supply chain ecosystem, a platform led transformation. In the changing financial landscape at the moment, the supply chain finance is playing a crucial role in establishing resilience, growth, and most importantly, inclusivity. The role that a transformation-led ecosystem is playing in collaborating banks, corporates and SMEs is intense. It ensures the higher connectivity and better efficiency in bringing the whole ecosystem together. So over the next 30 minutes, we will be discussing about the challenges, opportunities that banks face in establishing a well-connected ecosystem in the supply chain finance. So I'm delighted to have with me the transaction banking head of BRAC Bank PLC, Mr. Faisal Halim. Hi Faisal, welcome
Hi,
to
Indu, thank
here
you.
on this show. Thank you very much for joining us. With Faisal's vast experience in domestic and international banks, he brings a perspective combined with the bank's focus on innovation in transaction banking. He would be able to take us through what innovations are coming in the transaction banking phase and how a platform-led ecosystem helps to enable the connectivity between these ecosystems together. Thank you very much for joining us together here at SIBOS 2024.
Thanks, Indu. It is a great pleasure also joining you as well. And
Thank you
yeah,
so
we have
much.
been working together for a long time as well. And thanks, and great to be here as well.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. So just to start with, supply chain finance is often described as a bridge between banks, large corporates, SMEs, and even for that matter, MSMEs. So what does a truly unified ecosystem look like in your view?
Thanks. So, unified ecosystem is actually where the corporates, where the buyers, where the suppliers, where the technology all comes to one platform to eliminate the silos and create a transparency and also fast moving of the funding. So that's a true ecosystem looks like. And when the data and also the fund and the services all comes together, then then supply chain is become really a living ecosystem. It becomes more resilient, it becomes more data driven, and it is for the corporates and also for the suppliers, the funding are become seamless. So that's actually, in my view, is called unified ecosystem for the supply chain.
Okay.
So now if you see the data integration, so if you have the end-to-end data where the POs are generated, where the invoices are generated, where the suppliers are also in that particular platform. So if all those data are integrated, their inventory, how they manage their inventory. So if you have this all the data in a platform, and if you can, so it is become so easy for the funders to make a decision because they have the visibility of the entire data. But today, if you see, these data are not there. It's very fragmented. Suppliers have their own data. Distributor has their own data space. Banks has their own data space as well. So that's why it is much more difficult. So if you have that integrated data,
Correct.
it becomes visible to everybody.
So the silos is broken
Absolutely.
when it comes on a single platform, a unified platform.
Absolutely, and it becomes more efficient from everybody. So nowadays, a lot of people are talking about the deep tier finance, supply chain finance.
Correct.
See, like deep tier, I was hearing some session. The deep tier supply chain financing, only successful country was in China. One of the reason the deep tier supply chain is so important for the entire ecosystem to have the deep tier supply chain financing because you are actually financing the entire value chain. But the problem is the data. You don't have the visibility of the data. It is not coming from it's not being upstream from actually from tier 1 suppliers, tier 2 suppliers to tier 1 suppliers, then the corporates.
Right.
So that's why it is being challenged. But can you imagine, like, if this all data is stored in one single platform, then how easy that decision is gonna be? How easy that you can make the decision so easily?
Correct. From the bank side as well as from the participants of the ecosystem. From both sides, it's going to be equally easy.
Absolutely. So now, when you see from the credit perspective,
Correct.
so the bank, one of the main challenges over here, like in the SMEs, they don't have a very easy access of capital.
That's
So, but if you have all those data stored in a single platform, where you understand, what is the trading behavior of the client, when the repayments are coming, when the payments are going out, so then you can easily understand the, what are the credit standing of the
yeah,
buyers or the suppliers, and based on that, you can actually take a decision, or you can come up with a credit scoring method,
absolutely.
and then you can provide credit to that particular suppliers or buyers to have access to the capital.
Right. The assessment becomes a lot easier as well.
And the assessment is the most challenging. If
Correct,
you
correct,
see in the
absolutely.
SME part,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
access of capital is the most difficult part.
Correct.
And if this assessment can be done, like 80% of the work
Work is already
is
done.
absolutely done. Yeah. So
Very
this,
interesting, very interesting. In fact, you coined a term not living ecosystem.
yeah,
I mean, it's very relevant in today's context, and you also talked about inclusivity in some way
exactly,
because of the constrained credit access of the SMEs currently.
exactly. Yeah.
So bringing all of them on the single ecosystem makes everyone's life much easier.
And then you have to always think about the entire value chain, because
Correct.
if anything gets disrupted, the entire value chain gets disrupted.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
for the anchor, from the large corporate perspective, they
Correct.
really don't want any disruption in their value chain,
Correct, correct, correct.
and that's where I feel this unified platform is necessary.
Necessary.
Nowadays, if you see the history, like maybe 10, 20 years ago, it was like a single bank, a funder. They are actually working with the one corporates, and have this bilateral linkage on through either API or host to host to do their payment file and do the transactions. But now see how many platforms are here, how many fintechs are coming in. They're coming in the same concept, how they can bring all the data together, give the
Right.
visibility to the corporate, and give a smooth funding to the suppliers.
Just to take this conversation forward, Faisal, Bangladesh has a large base of SMEs, so estimated to be around 7.9 million,
Yeah.
right? So how do you see their role evolving in a platform-led supply chain ecosystem?
I think that will be an absolutely game changer. See, the Bangladesh has total around 12 million SMEs and CSMEs together.
Together, yeah.
So out of that, if you see the total industrial outstanding loan in Bangladesh, 16% is only on the CSME and SME side.
Okay.
So the 40% of the SMEs, I understand, is still not really in the. They don't have a. The 40% is only have access to the formal financial networks. So there is
Okay.
so many unbanked. So why there is so many unbanked? Because they are not in the unified platform. Because either they are actually getting financing from some alternative ways, which are becoming very
Money
expensive,
lenders, those
money
routes,
lenders and
yeah.
everything. So if you see that ecosystem, and the thing is, this SMEs contribute of 25 to 30% of the GDP.
Of the GDP.
It's a $500 billion GDP. It is 170 million of population. See the opportunities we have.
Actually.
It's just it is the time now to figure out how we can unify the entire system.
Correct, and bring all of them together.
All the
on
inclusiveness,
ecosystem.
this is also part of the financial inclusion, right?
Actually.
Yeah. So if you are actually can bring those unbanked or those expensive collateralized financing to this particular platform, then it is very easy to provide a supply chain solutions. How that's going to happen?
Absolutely.
See, for the anchor side, for the corporate side, they also would like to have supply chain financing, because it really helps them to manage their balance sheet efficiently. It
Correct.
helps them to manage their payment side, and also helps them to manage the receivable side through the supply chain.
Correct.
And the thing is, the main part is in this kind of financing, it is not become a balance sheet lending. It is become a transactional led lending. So the SMEs won't have a very strong balance sheet. If they bilaterally go to a bank and ask for financing, they are not going to get it. But if you have that entire supply chain, have that ecosystem ready,
Correct.
then they can get easily funding.
Correct.
And and that is also very competitive pricing, because you are leveraging the supply chain relationship with the big corporates.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have to move on to the transaction led rather than balance sheet led.
Absolutely. So, that said, you still have certain challenges. So, what are those some of the biggest challenges that prevent the supply chain finance from reaching its full potential currently? What do
So,
you think?
so one of the main challenges, if you see the fragmented data accuracy.
Ah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
see,
Very
like,
true.
because there is nowhere all the data are stored. So what happens? Suppliers have their own data. They manage their books in a different way.
Huh.
Buyers are managing their books in a different way.
Right.
Anchors are managing their books in a different way. So these are all fragmented data. So in the fragmented data in supply chain, it's very difficult to work with the fragmented data.
Correct.
So also the data accuracy, because a lot of the time, but the corporates may not think whether the data they are getting for the suppliers or buyers, how accurate they are. They can produce some data, you know, balance sheet or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it is a platform, you have the entire trading history. Like how much they have bought, how much they have sold, what is their inventories are.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you don't. That's data accuracy is already there. So that's one of the biggest challenge. And the second, I think we do have a lot of collateralized lending.
Correct. Correct.
The SMEs collateral is very difficult for the SMEs to provide the collateral. But in most of the SCF, like if you see, it's not collateralized based lending. As I've just mentioned, it's basically transactional led lending.
Correct. Correct.
So that also a very big challenges for the collateralized lending. Then the onboarding as well. Like an onboarding, like each and every suppliers and distributors doing a KYC due diligence, because it has to be a scalable program. You cannot have a supply chain program with like 2 distributors or 3 suppliers.
Correct.
It has to be a scalable.
Absolutely.
So the onboarding become very difficult for the corporates. So
Right.
these are the main, I think, 3 challenges they have.
Right.
But again, like I'm saying, if I go back again, how do you can mitigate this challenge, or how can you overcome this challenge? Is a living ecosystem you need.
Absolutely. And just talking a bit more on the challenges side, while you have done a lot in the supply chain finance, so my next question to you would be, can you share how BRAC Bank is leveraging on your technology partners to accelerate this platform-based led transformation in the supply chain finance space?
So, see, what 3 things matters when you are working with a platform or a fintech: transparency, efficiency, and speed, and the
Perfect.
client experience.
Yeah.
So you can't do it manually. There is no way a big bank can scale up their supply chain if they do it manually.
Correct.
So BRAC Bank, we do have a platform, and that platform actually help us to onboard the client and also integrate with their backend processing system. So which they do that reduces the turnaround time, that reduces the manual intervention. So that's why the TAT is better, and that's why the client experience is better.
Okay.
So, and yeah, we use Nucleus as well for our system. So now, like maybe if I want to take that forward to have a better client experience, I would like this thing to also client going to having this solution integrate this with the client platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my vision is clients should not be even thinking about data data exchanges.
A seamless integration
Seamless
is that you're
integration.
looking at.
If I, the client ERP system, if I have the invoices or if I have the PO, I can just push that, or either they can push it or I can pull it, bringing in our system, and then all the checking and everything can done automatically, and then the financing can be done.
I mean, we are looking at an absolute zero manual intervention at any point in this entire workflow. That's what your vision is eventually.
Exactly, that's what. Even from BRAC Bank perspective, our CEO and MD is very clear about it. It's innovation. It has to be technology driven.
Absolutely right.
Nowadays, if you don't have a technology driven, you can't have a smooth client experiences. And for us, we are not we would like to move out from the, not we, everybody should move out from the institutional led to the client led model.
Right.
And to be a client led model, you have to provide a very seamless, smooth journey of the client.
For the client. Uh, we spoke about inclusivity, we spoke about the challenges that typically banks or say any geography faces. So, what I would like to understand from you is what unique lessons from Bangladesh market would be relevant for other emerging geographies for that matter, looking to build such resilient supply chain ecosystem.
See, one thing is it's also Bangladesh. There was a lot of the support we have from the regulators on the SMEs.
Yeah,
So
that's
significant
always there.
support.
Yeah.
That's like I don't think so. You get that much support to the
Ah.
other countries.
Ah.
So our regulators have understood how the SME creates a significant impact.
That always complements the bank's initiatives to bring in something new, right?
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
regulator support.
So they are regulators are really focused on really building and helping the SME business because they are the backbone of the country.
Absolutely.
They they have when an SME contributes 25-30% of the GDP, and if you bring MSME including to that, so you need the regulators' help is
Regulator
required,
support.
and we are actually grateful to our regulators for providing that support. Second is see the infrastructure. So we have our in Bangladesh, they have done the infrastructure, which is the payment infrastructure. There's a like real-time settlements and all infrastructures like RTGS, NPSV. Those infrastructures are all laid out.
Right.
If you don't have that infrastructure, then you cannot do the payments or you cannot receive it. So that's another thing they have done significantly. And most of the corporates are now being digitized as well and are paying through this payment system. So I think when you get the regulator supporter, when you get the like infrastructure right, then another third thing I want to see, like we have one of the biggest MFS, mobile financial services in Bangladesh. So they have actually helped millions unbanked people to come to the financial system.
Okay. Okay.
They're also, you know, doing helping the SMEs. They're also going to the different banks to actually providing the supply chain financing for their distributors. So this is a great success story for Bangladesh, and is the one of the biggest, I think, mobile financial service provider.
Okay.
So I think these are a couple of the lesson, which is like significant help from the regulators. You create an infrastructure, and you have some of the startups which become a unicorn, and which also helping the lot of unbanked people come into the financial system. So the data, then they can be inclusive in the financial system later part. I think that's kind of stuff. Maybe Bangladesh can create an example outside.
So, how would you envision a future supply chain finance platform?
So for
Maybe
me,
a futuristic rather.
so futuristic, as I have mentioned, it has to be very inclusive. Without inclusivity, is not really gonna go anywhere. We can't work in a silo. We cannot work in the fragmented basis.
Correct.
And we need to actually bring everybody together in a single platform, and the entire ecosystem needs to be built on that platform. Actually, this is something. It's coming up. A lot of the, if you see a lot of the platform provider,
Yeah.
if you go, they are providing their entire payable management system. They're providing the entire receivable management system. They are actually helping give them understanding of their inventory management of the system of their buyers and the suppliers. The logistics companies are also coming into that platform. So you have the visibility of entire supply chain, value chain, and also the physical movement of the goods.
Yeah.
So you see how powerful that tool is, and that's where I think the future is. That's what I think you need. In future, the supply chain needs to go in that direction. Okay. Otherwise, fragmented basis is not going to go anywhere.
Work at all. Yeah.
So second, I think what I would like to see the AI playing a bigger role. The way I see AI bigger role is, you see, there's a lot of data out there. So these data are very important for the credit assessment process. So we can use the AI actually come up with the data they have, and then do the credit scoring. They can do the credit evaluations, and give a recommendation, see whether that particular suppliers or distributors are okay to onboard. Obviously, you will have a judgment on that, but I think AI is needs to be there to make a lot faster. So the more faster you have, most easy way for a supplier or the distributor get the funding, because they need the funding really faster because their balance sheet does not really have some. So I think AI is going to make a bigger role here.
Definitely.
And I think sustainability, ESG linked supply chain is going to make a big. It's going to be in future. It's going to be big because a lot of the corporates now they're focusing on the supply sustainability. They want the supply ESG complied to the entire value chain. So I think this 2 3 I think is gonna be very important in future for if you want to really scale up supply chain finance.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Faisal. Very interesting insights coming up from the conversation. You focusing on inclusivity, getting an end-to-end visibility from the channel, a seamless integration without any manual intervention, right from the ERP of the customer until the platform, until the disbursement of loans to the participants of the ecosystem's account. So all of these are bringing a very, very valuable perspective on the table, and I really thank you for joining me today. And some of the key takeaways, I would say something that has stood out very clearly from your conversation is that how a platform-led ecosystem can really transform the entire game here.
Exactly.
It's a vital component of the entire supply chain finance ecosystem. A platform has to be there, right?
Otherwise, you won't get scale.
Otherwise, you cannot. Yeah, you cannot scale up. You don't get the end-to-end visibility there.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Faisal. I really want to thank you on behalf of Nucleus Software for joining us here in SIBOS 2025 today.
Thanks.
Please enjoy the rest of the SIBOS.
No, thank you, Indu. It was a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you
and
so much,
the topics is very close to my heart, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to have a discussion on this.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.